Okay, next one is from Brent. Hey, John, longtime fan. So I'm looking forward to Alita Battle Angel, but I have to wonder about its budget. Doing the movie production math, at $200 million budget, the film would need to make $600 million to break even. It seems odd to me that Fox would predict that a film like this would hit that mark. I would figure it would come around $450 million. Is there something I'm missing? Why would they approve that massive budget initially?
Things are not looking good for Alita. That should be the song in the Aladdin trailer. Things are not looking good for Alita. Look, somebody asked me on open mic the other day, like, why did they approve this movie? Like, at a $200 million budget? 2 words, James Cameron. That's why. Because, nobody thought Avatar was going to make $2.7 billion, by far the biggest money-making film of all time. And by the way, he's also made the second biggest money-making film of all time in Titanic. So when he comes to the studio and says, I want to make this movie, budget $190 to $200 million, well, they say yes. They probably wanted him directing. We got Robert Rodriguez, whatever. But this is how grim. It looks even more grim than you think. Because right now, the tracking for it, they're predicting about a $25 million opening. A $25 million opening. For a $200 million film. That's the scientific term for it is shit. That's the scientific term. That's the word all the Fox executives are sitting down going, well, shit. We're in trouble. And they are in trouble. They are going to lose a ridiculous amount of money on this. Now, the movie itself getting not bad reviews, not bad. Some people don't like it. Some people quite like it. It's hovering around the 60% mark right now. Not bad. I'm still looking forward to seeing it. But I remember that's something we all kind of raised an eyebrow at first. It's like, how much are they spending on this movie? They think this movie can make $550, $600 million? And that's not even profitable, really. And so things look pretty grim. I almost feel like they doomed themselves from the beginning by going in with a budget like this because, I just don't know. I didn't see the hook. And certainly that first trailer, I love all the subsequent trailers, but that first trailer was garbage. And you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Rob, number one, why do you think they approved a budget like this? But number two, do you think Alita Battle Angel could come out of this and break even, be profitable?
Yeah. Well, look, I think James Cameron's been in love with this story for over the better part of 2 decades, if not more.
He's talked about this movie for a long time.
And a lot of what's in the original comic is now become well-trodden ground. I mean, the idea of these cyborgs who are human or have human qualities or find their heart. Basically it's the Tin Man and Wizard of Oz again and again and again throughout the history of storytelling. Now, I think the technology, I think James Cameron, people forget that James Cameron has done the research, the R&D for the entire movie industry for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
All the way back to The Abyss.
Him and Lucas.
Yes, him and Lucas, but he's taking what Lucas develops and then figures out interesting ways let's get ILM to make the pseudopod from The Abyss, which then becomes the morphing T-1000 and T2, and then it moves forward. So this was some research and development he was doing for Avatar, the 3D, the environments, but I think this movie is going to be huge overseas. I think it's going to be huge. And the overseas audiences are more forgiving for this kind of film, especially Asian audiences where, the idea of robots and things and mechanical objects with hearts are much more embedded into their culture than we are.
That's where Alita came from.
Right, exactly. And I think the Chinese market for this movie is going to be massive. Kind of the way how Pacific Rim did not do very well here, but it did really well overseas, right. And they were able to make a sequel. So I don't think it's going to be a total disaster. And I do think, I haven't seen the movie, but if I was a 12-year-old girl, I'd be all over this. I'd be like, I want to go see this. And maybe that'll help it. It's going into Valentine's weekend. It's somewhat of a date movie. Maybe. Is it? I don't know. I mean, I would, if I had a young girlfriend, I'd be like, hey baby, how about I take you to a nice dinner first, and then we're gonna go see.
No.
Oh, we'll see Alita first, right? The John Campion
dinner first.
Yes.
Then
movie first, then dinner.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do that. And maybe I will. In fact, maybe I'll do that. I'll do that very thing for Valentine's Day. But I don't know. I mean, it's they've been marketing the hell out of it. I'd like to see a film like this succeed, because when a movie like this doesn't succeed, it's not good for anybody.
No, it hurts. It hurts all the entire genre. Let's just look at what happened to the Scarlett Johansson. Which was the? What's that? Yeah, the Ghost in the Shell. Look what happened to Ghost in the Shell. I mean, and that's a beloved property. Beloved.
That had animation behind it, a series behind it. I mean, there was a lot of, and this is a lesser known property than Ghost in the Shell was. Yeah. But it covers the same kind of ground. I mean, this idea of what's alive, what isn't alive, destiny. I don't know.
I just can't help but wonder what we would be. We're talking about a 25 million tracking opening. Maybe it hits 30. Maybe it hits 32. That's all disappointing. I cannot help but wonder what our conversation would be like today if the first trailer that came out for Alita Battle Angel didn't turn everybody off. Because they turned me off, but then they won me back with all the subsequent trailers. And Mahershala Ali looks like he's going to be awesome in it. You got two-time Academy Award winner Christoph Waltz in there. I mean, I think it looks like fun. But they just lost so many people, I think, with that first trailer. It'd just be interesting if we could go back and find out how would the present look if they just came out of the gate with a strong trailer to start things off with. And who knows where it would be.